promised me on a night drive, baby, I'm waiting on you. You promised me on a night drive, baby, I'm waiting on you. You promised me on a night drive, baby, come on.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome for some more EGFC Rocket League action. I am Sepulence, joined by the great and handsome and wonderful, and insert fourth great thing about him here, Vincent. We're going to be jumping in today. We're going to be bringing you 4 games in a row, starting off with DePaul versus UConn. Vincent, do you know anything kind of about these teams moving in?
Well, I know a couple of things. Number one, I casted DePaul and Xavier last week. It was a pretty one-sided affair where Xavier took a 3-1 victory. That means that DePaul are coming in at an 0-1. The other big, probably problem for DePaul here is that they're coming up against UConn. And while I don't necessarily know who has stayed and who has gone from last season,
Right.
I do know that they were pretty darn good in the prior season here at EGFC. So if UConn are anywhere close to the same level that they were at it in last season, then I definitely think DePaul has got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. DePaul, like you said, coming in off of kind of a week 1 loss, sitting at that 0-1 record, they're really going to want to kind of come back from it, right? 1-1 obviously feels so much better than 0-2, and it's the beginning of the season. So if you lose 2 in a row, it's not bad, kind of statistically speaking, but just kind of mentality speaking, it's going to be really rough to kind of keep that positive mental if you go 0-2 in the first couple of weeks.
You never want to go down to that position, but we are getting ready to get underway here. It's going to be DePaul in the blue and UConn in the orange to start us out.
Ooh! Speaking of UConn trying to start us out, Droy is a name I remember well, going for the action and going to be able to find it off the back of it there. UConn are finding themselves up a point 6 seconds into the first game. Yeah,
I mean, you said it yourself. Immediately you see the name Antoine, and you're like, yeah, that'll do it. I remember that guy, but certainly an impressive showing from UConn in the early stages. If that's the tone setter here, Seth, I mean, oh boy, DePaul might be in trouble.
Yeah, I think you said it best there, Vincent. If this is kind of the tone setter, so to speak, DePaul's really going to get a run for their money. Now, Droy's a name that every time I say it, I get another memory of them really making an appearance here for UConn, coming in, trying to get aggressive, looking for a goal on the side of DePaul. And Black Wraith, actually, from DePaul, another name. So I'm actually remembering these players left, right, and center. The more I see them, the more I begin to remember Disaster here. Goes for that shot, but Jaco is going to be the one to get it lined up and out of the way. This has been a very slow-paced game so far. We see UConn with that early goal, but ever since, it's been a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody really able to win the 50-50s in the key area. Also, the clears have been maybe a little lackluster from both sides of things. I don't think there's been very dominant clears, but an attempt at the double tap there from Disaster, nearly spelling disaster for DePaul once again, but it's going to be cleared back out, and here we go again.
Yeah, I think you actually just made a really good observation there that I hadn't quite caught, is these clears haven't been fantastic, and that one there was not even going to get cleared. We saw a great pass in towards center field, and we see Jaco get ball control for just a moment, but if anything, he sets up Disaster for that second goal. A minute 8 off the clock, and UConn finding themselves up 2-0.
Yeah, and that ball across the middle, you got to be careful. That's a really dangerous place to be, and I saw it in my eye. As soon as Jaco was there, I was like, uh-oh, this is terrifying.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I personally don't think there's ever really a good reason to clear in front of your own goal like that unless you 100% absolutely have to. But, I feel like there's always another way. This is going to be really starting to hurt here for DePaul. 2-0, but Black Wraith with a great bounce off the ground. Juggles the ball clean in past 2 defenders there from the middle field.
Yeah, a good look here, and listen, it's so hard to read often that ball when it bounces off the ground.
Yeah.
Off the top, it's a lot easier to read for some reason, but you don't often see the ground shot, and I think that's part of what caught UConn off there. But the good news for DePaul is they've gotten on the board, and it's just a 2-1, so things are definitely still heating up here in game number 1.
Absolutely. We're not even close to halftime. We're still almost a minute over halftime right now. There's only a 1-point difference, so a very high-scoring game coming through here. Lavish picks up that demolition onto Anton. That could be a great opportunity, but, you know, it's only a 2-point-some-odd second timer there before the respawn comes through, so we are back into that full-blown 3v3. Anton goes for a secondary attempt here off the shot, off the missed goal. Goes for that setup, but DePaul, I've got to say, they've really started to turn up their defense here. We can see this team getting warmed up before our very eyes.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like UConn has kind of turned their attack up a notch as well.
Right.
It's been very quality, and this is the only real breakaway opportunity that's been had, but Disaster's there for the stop.
Disaster's going to be there to catch it, and wow, Lavish getting aggressive there. However, Anton able to block that one out, keeping the score at that 2-1. Here comes Anton from the back line. Open goal, gets caught out by Lavish. Droys isn't quite able to find that yet. Jocko gets the ball control, sets up. UConn once again, second time in a row, and Disaster just hits it completely for free.
Yeah, nice little interception here. Jocko, a little bit of a bad attempt there on the inside the air, but with Disasters in position, takes that ball. Nobody's really in position to kind of go back. They're expecting a clear to come through, but when that clear doesn't happen, man, Disaster stepping in at the perfect time.
I think we made this pun once already, so I'll only make it once myself, but that really was a disaster there for DePaul. That was going to be incredibly rough to come through. Black Wraith finds that demolition. Speaking of the man, Disaster is going to be the one demoed there. Lavish trying to find ball control, gets a great setup here into the teammate from DePaul with Droys off the back of it. It's almost like UConn is just continuously capitalizing off of the back of anything DePaul tries to do. DePaul, they can't find this progress, they can't find this space because UConn feels like they're always 2 steps ahead.
Well, they're winning 50s, right, in the middle of the field, and that's really the key. So DePaul can't really stabilize or get themselves shots on goal because they're never able to win in that middle area. That's such a key position, and when you're not winning there, you're not going to be winning anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on there. You're not going to be able to win anywhere else, not going to be able to win anything else. And right now, DePaul, I commented on their defense already. I really was seeing some great improvement there, but UConn, they've stepped up their offense. We've seen a couple of, misplays, so to speak, from DePaul. So I think we're really going to see them lose game 1 here. We might be able to see them turn around game 2, but of course, we've got to get there first, right?
Well, that's right, but I mean, if they keep finding attempts like that, then maybe this can be turned around. Lavish catching one off there, a nice little goal, and it's a very nice placement there by Black Wraith. Goes off of the backside of the board, but it doesn't matter because Lavish comes back in for the help.
Yeah, Lavish really was able to clean that up, but it almost feels still to me like DePaul, they're lagging behind a little bit, right? It feels like they're playing up to par with UConn about a minute late, right? We keep seeing them almost get that goal, almost turn things around, and there's Anton. A very lucky play, honestly. It bounced off the crossbar into the ground, back up into the crossbar. Let's get another look at that. Let's see what that, so off the crossbar. Yeah, no, wait. Wait. I don't think that would have gone in had Black Wraith not been there.
No, I don't think so either. Really a series of unfortunate events coming through, I think, that allowed for UConn to take that goal. Regardless, that really is going to maybe start to nail that first nail into the coffin. 30 seconds on the clock. It's going to be, or rather, 1 minute on the clock. It's going to be difficult to score 2 goals in that time, though definitely possible if DePaul can pick up the pace.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, we're looking at 1 goal for 25 seconds, right? So this is going to be a great aggression coming out from DePaul. We've got to think there have been 2 goals for DePaul that were, kind of mistakes, right? Kind of instances that they really didn't do what they had intended. So this could be a 2-2 tied game, but DePaul, they just need to clean up these kind of micro mistakes a little bit, if you will, and they could really keep this game a lot closer than we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and you can see, like, a lot of times, like, Jocko right there getting starved out, had no boost whatsoever to play with, and unfortunately, off the back of that, it's just UConn's ball for free. Wait, how does he thread that needle? There's 3 defenders there. Let's take a look at that one more time. Septilence, this is outrageous.
Yeah,
what is this touch?
Maybe Droys puts down Rocket League and picks up Sewing because that was the best thread of a needle that I've seen in a long time. I think you were completely right about that. Able to go through all 3 defenders there. UConn looking incredibly strong here. And at the same time, DePaul not looking as strong as we remember. So we really want to see this aggression coming out. Lavish going for an early play off the kickoff, trying to keep the dream alive. But as we tick down to these final 7 seconds, UConn, they are going to walk away victorious here in game 1.
Yeah, no way to get back in there. That's going to be a touchdown on the ball, the pitch, and UConn with the victory. Very well done. Very easy looking, I think, for UConn, especially early on. Right, DePaul kind of came back in there late, but if it weren't for the fact that a couple of mistakes came through for UConn, and well, like you said, some unfortunate events coming into fruition, I think that's a little bit of a closer game. That could have been maybe a 3-2 scoreline realistically, rather than a 5-2. So with that being said, UConn, a nice start to the series, but DePaul have really shown that they have something to play with. They definitely have shown themselves to be a well-drilled team. They just need to step up to the plate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I made this comment at the beginning, right? It felt like we were watching DePaul warm up kind of before our eyes. And I wonder if that really is the case. They did start to get better as the game went on. UConn, they were definitely warming up as well. So a lot of the rust falling off here for these teams, right? Kind of jumping back into the EGFC. I believe we're only here on week 2. So we want to see what it's kind of brought to the table here in game 2. A lot of 2s there, but we're going to see what's going to be the action coming out from DePaul. If they're able to find a goal early the same way UConn did, I could really see this turning around in their favor. But Anton just the name of the hour so far, constantly being exactly where DePaul does not want them to be.
Yeah, no, it's been a rough go there in the early stages. And this is another good look from Anton, right? Just playing across the middle, looking for those potential ideas. And even though Jacko gets a nice little touch, it's not going to be quite enough, even with Black Wraith on the follow-up.
Black Wraith was just, inches off of the perfect positioning to smack that ball right into goal. But Lavish goes for a secondary attempt, wasn't able to find that either. UConn going to be getting a little bit aggressive of their own, and I think I've kind of noticed a crack in DePaul's armor here, so to speak, is they triple commit on the offense, right? And they're so close to scoring every time. If you're scoring, triple committing is fine, right? But they keep missing these goals, and then they've left their own goal wide open, and UConn has been able to capitalize off the back of that. Lavish there, maybe the hero DePaul needs, able to keep that one turned around. Already a minute off the clock and no points online. This is already a much different game from game 1.
That it is, but it really has been back and forth in that the scoring opportunities have been there for both sides.
Yeah,
they're really, DePaul, they struggled with scoring opportunities in the prior game, but not this time, not thus far. But like you said, it's just a matter of time that they continue those triple commits, that they're going to leave themselves wide open, and it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and as long as they're putting them away, right, it'll full reset the lobby, excuse me, but we definitely want to see them kind of confirming those goals a little bit more consistent. They always feel so close, right? But close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and definitely not in Rocket League here. You've got to be hitting that goal spot on. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left here. I say left, we're still in the first half, but somebody's got to put something away eventually. Lavish with a great juke around 2 defenders, but nobody there to capitalize off the back of it.
Yeah, it just seems like that third man's always kind of there, waiting in the wind for UConn. The defense has been really phenomenal from them, despite some close calls, I would say, even, and some fantastic plays from DePaul. The offensive opportunities have actually not been there quite nearly as much for UConn, and that's where they need to step up here.
Yeah, absolutely. They really need to be stepping up here. Just in terms of general offense, I think we need to be seeing them come through, get a little bit more aggressive, and kind of maintain ball control. We really saw it coming through for UConn in the first game. They really seemed to have kind of the handle. They were in the they were in the driver's seat. That's what I'm trying to say. Jeez, they were in the driver's seat pretty aggressively, but DePaul, they're becoming a little bit more offensive on their own right, and I think that's really starting to put a hole in UConn's plan.
Yeah, I really love, though, how UConn are playing so well together. What they're doing is passing back and forth and really doing a fantastic job of it. But I think it's actually, kind of getting in their mind, right? They don't want to give away a shot by clearing far, just like this. They want to get an opportunity to take a shot on goal. And, well, you've had 1 or 2, but they just haven't quite gotten there.
Yeah. Absolutely. You haven't been able to really find that like you wanted. And wow, that almost rolled right in, but no, nobody's going to be able to pick it up quite yet. Anton just barely with the save. We are deep into the second half of the game. We are well past the 2.5-minute marker and still sitting at that 0-0. This feels much more like the DePaul than I remember. They're really keeping UConn on their toes here and keeping the series tied up.
And it's been their offensive play as well. The biggest struggle for them in that game one is now become the magic that has allowed for DePaul to just continuously push UConn to their limits.
Yeah, and this is really becoming a bit of a thorn in UConn's side. They come in, they get hyper-aggressive. They take game one in such an aggressive fashion, right? Such an angry manner. And then DePaul, they are really keeping it close. I mean, there's a world, never mind. There's a world where we go to overtime, but that is not the world we are in any longer. UConn, they are going to find themselves up 1-0, only 67 seconds left on the clock. I cannot believe that went in past the corner of the goal.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I want to give credit to Anton there, but that is, I mean, that's just a 1 in 100 goal, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Rarely is that going to be on target in that manner, but he makes it work, and got to give him credit where it's due. He's turned this around. That could be the goal that allows UConn to take game two.
Yeah, and I mean, what's that saying? You miss 100% of the 100% of the goals you don't take, or the shots
That's right.
you don't take, or whatever.
Yeah.
So UConn, they're really showing us. There was that 1% where they made it, right? They came through strong there. I definitely agree. That felt like a 1 in 100. Now that felt like an open goal. That felt like a free goal for UConn. So they jumped that hurdle. They jumped that difficult beginning there, and they've really turned it up to 11 here in this final minute of the game, already finding 2 goals.
Yeah, that was a rotational error there from DePaul. It was one of those moments where they committed very fully towards their aggressive offense, and it feels like, you know, that goal now on the board kind of maybe getting into their heads a little bit. They wanted to make sure that they could get on towards another goal and tie the game up, but instead they overcommit and they give another opportunity to UConn.
UConn, they will take every opportunity they have. Speaking of UConn, here comes Anton going for another one, trying to put that third point online for UConn. Not able to land it yet, but the pressure just consistently making an appearance here. DePaul, they feel good. They play up to par, so to speak. They're punching above their belt, if you will, but you know they've definitely started to punch a little bit lower once again, really struggling to find those proper engagements they've been looking for.
Well, I mean, it's when, look, a pressure being applied means that you're going to be struggling a little bit more. And as the time ticks away and the ball hits the pitch, it's going to be another UConn victory, but this time, I mean, you have to give credit to DePaul.
Oh,
they were not out of this game. They were there. They had the opportunities. In fact, I could argue they had more opportunities than UConn did in the first 4.5 minutes of that game. But, I mean, when it came down to the wire, UConn applied the pressure. They got a big, call it what you will, goal from Anton, and that really started to unravel the DePaul side.
No doubt about that. DePaul, they were really keeping it well. They were playing at par, but as soon as that goal came through, they really, no pun intended, they really did drop the ball a little bit. They really weren't coming through as strong as they wanted to be in UConn. I mean, I made a comment toward the beginning of this that this may be a quick matchup depending on what UConn brings to the table. And it looks like they're bringing nothing short of their A game here, so we're going to be jumping into A3. These final 5 minutes are DePaul's final chance to keep the series alive.
That's right. And, well, we've seen them come, a little bit unraveled when things got tough, but this is where the good get going. And maybe DePaul can pull things back and maybe start out a reverse sweep.
I honestly, just for pure content purposes, I would love to see a reverse sweep come through here, right? I mean, I think that'd be absolutely insane. But realistically speaking, unless DePaul finds that chat, they're able to pick up kind of the momentum that they want here. Maybe they get that first goal. They're really able to keep it kind of on their side. That's the only lining. That's the only world where I think they walk away with a win. And as I say it, Black Wraith from DePaul really does pick up that first goal. So the momentum on DePaul's side, I'm not ready to count them out quite yet.
This is a big mistake, and the first mistake that DePaul have actually been able to punish UConn for.
Yeah.
That was a double commit on that ball, right? And it was a very lackluster clear. In fact, it wasn't a clear at all. It was an attempt at a clear, and it just didn't work. So UConn giving an opportunity over to DePaul, and oh my goodness, that's so close.
Close? I don't even know if close is the word. That was like 60% in. That was everything but in there. Almost able to tie it up. Now Black Wraith going for that full field commit on their own side, and Lavish able to steal ball control for just a moment, but Anton into Droy's now. The pressure's on against DePaul. They've left their goal open for another time here in Game 3, but it looks like they're still able to capitalize. Here comes Lavish for the double tap with the interruption there. Going to steal all momentum away, and DePaul, they have to fight for this ball control all over again. Off the ceiling, Black Wraith goes for the dunk. Will it bounce in? No. A little bit wide. There it is. There's the clear from UConn, able to keep the game alive.
Man, Disaster's playing a dastardly defense right now here for UConn, really stepping up in some of these scenarios. There's Droys getting involved as well. I think this defense has been good, but UConn, they've got some cracks that are forming here in that defense, and DePaul are absolutely there for it.
Absolutely, and okay. Maybe they've sealed those cracks right back up as we're talking about him here, because we have seen already some great aggression, some great momentum coming out from UConn. They finally put that one away, 1-1. In the world of Rocket League, that is just 0-0 again. So one of these teams has to find that point advantage. They have to find that lead. The question is, which one of the teams is going to be able to do that first?
Oh, man, it feels like DePaul has the momentum for now, but I mean, we could see some of these aerials being thrown out. They are next level.
Yeah, and I personally feel that what separates a good team from a great team is, of course, how aggressive you can be in the air as well. One of my favorite things about Rocket League is the fact that it is a three-dimensional game to the fullest definition of the word. You don't just play in front of and behind you, you play above and below you as well. So when a team is stuck to the ground, they feel like they aren't really able to pick it up or utilize that boost like a great team could. That's usually when we see them fall. But now, DePaul, as I talk about falling, DePaul really trying to keep this alive, just shy of that halftime. 2 minutes and 43 seconds left, DePaul taking the lead once again.
I remember when I talked back in game one about how DePaul, and it was Jocko who kind of pulled the ball across the actual goal. You never want to do that. And that's exactly what was done by Anton there. It was really unfortunate, and, well, they got punished for it. So, DePaul, this is their first lead this entire series, and it's in game 3.
Yeah, this is what I always call the esports factor, right? I used to call it whatever game I was casting factor, but in reality, you see it across all competitive sports at any competitive level. It's when a team waits until like the final moments to kind of remember what they're doing, right? Remember how to play the game, and that really does feel like what DePaul's doing. We talked about last game; they were giving UConn a run for their money, but now DePaul, they're running away with the money. They are desperate to take this game 3. They're looking for this goal. They're looking for this game win. Like they're looking to take their next breath. They want to keep this series alive, and they want to try to get us hyped for the reverse sweep, but Droy's able to put it away with the help of Anton. 2:02 on the clock, 2-2 on the board. This is more than enough time to go anybody's way.
Yeah, what a great commitment here by UConn. Just listen, the ball isn't dead until it's cleared, right? So always, 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 always step to that ball. You never know what could happen. Droy's and Anton do a great job of making it happen.
100%. Droy's and Anton, it's always if one of them isn't there, the other one is, right? They just seem to be so available at the best times. Now, Lavish finds that quick demo onto Droy's, but again, that is a 2.5 second reset. And again, that's what is that? Probably the 5th or 6th time that we've seen DePaul be so close to just stealing a goal away, but they go a little bit wide and they're not able to find it. If they were able to land every goal they've tried to make so far, this would be a complete shutout in favor of DePaul.
100%. I mean, shots on goal, it's got to be a crazy difference. I don't even know what the score looks like here, but DePaul have taken infinitesimally more shots than UConn have had an opportunity to.
Yeah, no doubt about that. They have just been coming through time and time again, lining up these shots, and unfortunately missing every single one. But if they can fix those kind of micro mistakes, just that little bit of spacing issue, DePaul, they're going to be sinking these shots like nobody's business.
Well, with a minute on the clock, it's all about who can sink the next shot for now, because that is, we're getting down to the wire, right? And DePaul, we talked about it, they are playing for series life.
Wait a minute, that was really close. I'm not sure how Lavish blocked that first one. They found that second one as well. Now that's an open goal, but no, that's going to be perfect timing. Anton comes through, looks to put it away, finds the disruption there. The physicality from DePaul has been up to 11, but from center field, again, kind of that lack of defense, that almost forgetfulness of protecting the goal from DePaul leaves that goal wide open and nobody's able to get there in time.
Well, and I actually don't think that that's necessarily what happened for DePaul there. They were just committed elsewhere. They were doing other things. Too many players outside. Nobody actually making that rotation back. And the one player who was, well, he's a little bit too slow. 30 seconds on the clock here for DePaul to get a goal, to tie us back up and send us to overtime. Otherwise, UConn's going to win this in 3.
And UConn, I mean, yeah, like you said, they're looking to do just that. This has been nothing short of good to great even. They've been coming through hyper-aggressive time and time again. They're able to do this. They're able to take out DePaul so aggressively here in week 2. That would just be a message, truly, to any other team.
Would be indeed. But, I mean, 5 seconds. I don't know if this is going to happen. The attempt being made clear, almost there, but I don't think so.
Yeah, no, it's just not there. The ball hits the ground, and UConn walks away with a 3-game victory there over DePaul. Every single one of them just so incredibly close. But again, close, unfortunately, does not matter in Rocket League. You've got to win. You've got to find that point victory. And UConn, I mean, they pulled no punches that entire game.
No, they are. Well, let's just say DePaul beaten and bloodied in this one. Unfortunately, the hands of UConn. That being said, I think I set it up at the beginning here, Seth.
Yeah.
We talked about where DePaul were at, where they were at last week. Now, granted, a different group of players in for DePaul last week, just to be clear, so it wasn't exactly the same. But the same outcome. It's a loss here, and to UConn, I think it makes a lot of sense. A very strong team, already up by 1 here on the season. They continue that victory. They were top table. They were a playoff team before. I really expect, considering I didn't know who the players were, we recognized all three. Yeah. I mean, that should tell you as much as needs to be said for the likes of UConn. Commiserations to DePaul. Unfortunately, it's a winless one today. Hopefully they can pull out some victories here as we move forward here in the EGFC season.
Yeah, no doubt about that. A close one, and I believe, I don't know what the issue was last week, but I believe it was DePaul's B team playing, so their A team coming out, trying to get some things figured out. And I don't know, are we throwing to a break before interview or not?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
yes.
So we're going to throw to a super short break. We're going to have an interview here with, it looks like Anton from UConn, so we'll be right back in just a couple of seconds. Don't go far. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back. Still Subtilance and Vincent here, coming back from I don't want to call it dominant, but I'd say a rather convincing victory there from UConn. Coming out very strong, UConn over DePaul, 3-0, and we're going to get a chance to talk to Anton, the, I would say, star player from UConn here today. Anton, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm glad we got the dub. And, DePaul's always a tough team. Glad we got out on top today.
Yeah, absolutely. So my question for you is, we're only in, week 2 here in the EGFC. So do you guys kind of feel like you can continue this win streak moving into the rest of this? How do you feel kind of going up against the other teams here at the EGFC?
Yeah, that's definitely our expectation. We definitely want to, try to win every game. I think we can do it. I know last year we had a bit of trouble in the fall, but we started off strong this year, especially against a team like DePaul. A 3-0 is something that or at least I expected,
Sure.
but not out of, DePaul being a bad team or anything. It was just like we worked really hard over the summer and grinding and stuff, and we've been getting a lot better. So 3-0 is definitely a result we want to see, and it's definitely a good kind of set for the rest of the season, and we definitely want to go undefeated if we can.
Yeah, always going to be the goal, right? I got a chance to talk to the Xavier team last week, and they told me that they were really looking forward to playing you guys. Is that the same for you? Do you also look forward to playing against Xavier? They kind of suggested to me that there might be some rivalry there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good friends with Brosifon Xavier. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he was the one who told you that, but I think if it was him, then yeah, I mean, we're definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, the Big East especially is the conference we're looking forward to playing. I mean, the teams like DePaul right now, Xavier, Seton Hall is another team that's coming up that we're looking forward to. But yeah, Xavier definitely looking forward to that, and want to run it. I think that's next week, so. Definitely going to prepare for that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned Seton Hall. That leads me straight to my next question. Everyone I've talked to has been like, "Oh man, Seton Hall, they're scary." Are you guys scared? Are you ready to just take it to them and take an easy victory?
I don't know if easy victory is the right word. I definitely know. I mean, they picked up some very talented players over the summer. I think it's definitely doable to beat them. We've beaten teams that are, usually like we'd think are above our caliber, and I think Seton Hall is a team that, just like on the fundamental level is a bit better than us. But if we can, study them and work it out, I think we definitely come out on top. It's certainly a game that I'm marking on the schedule, putting a star next to. Looking forward to that for sure. So I think we could do it 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love to hear that. I love to hear that attitude. I love that you're kind of like, well, I don't know if it'll be easy, but we're definitely here to try for it. We're definitely here to work for it, and that's absolutely awesome. So my last question, just to pull us a little bit out of the game, a little more kind of into your reality as an esports player, is there anybody you just want to shout out, or anybody you want to thank that's kind of been with you up to this point, or anybody that's rooting for?
First and foremost, my teammates. Those guys are great. We've been playing for like a year and a half together, I think now. So the chemistry is definitely building, and it's definitely showing in the results as we play. So my teammates, also everyone from UConn that's watching. I love you so much. UConn Rocket League to the top. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it.
All right, perfect. Well, Anton, thank you so much for joining us, and a huge congratulations to you guys. Honestly, a really good showing here. If you can tell your teammates as well, great job. We only get to talk to one of you, unfortunately, but really, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, folks, I believe we're going to throw it to a break. I don't remember what time our next game is supposed to start, but I think we've got a couple of minutes, so we will be right back in just a little bit with Game 2. Don't go far. We'll see you soon. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I hope you guys missed us as much as we missed you. And as much as we missed Rocket League, we are going to be jumping back into the swing of things. Marquette versus St. John's, Septilance and Vincent, and some Rocket League. That is what we're here to bring you guys today. Vincent, do you know anything about these teams kind of headed into this matchup?
Oh, that I do. Unfortunately, St. John taking an L in week 1, but, well, we just talked about it. I'll remind everyone again, Seton Hall is a terrifying force, and that is the terrifying force that St. John met in week number 1. So a understandable loss against the team of Marquette that has taken a nice little victory here in the early stages. That was against Villanova back in week 1, and it was a 3-0 if I'm not mistaken as well. So definitely a good start for Marquette. I think this one, though, it should be a pretty close series, if I'm not mistaken. I think both of these teams were relatively mid-table last season by the end of it.
I believe so. I'm not positive. Honestly, it's been a while. It's been a long time, and I do a lot. We do a lot of games here at EGFC, so I don't remember exactly how these teams fared last time. But Primal, definitely a name that I do remember. So I want to be seeing kind of
Big on Jader.
That's actually a name I don't remember. So
I do.
Curious,
I remember.
Yeah, I'm curious what they're going to be able to do here, St. John's, with a very quick ball control, but it looks like it's going to be stolen away as I say it. Open goal for the time being, but Begone does not have the boost to get there in time. Now an open goal on the opposing side, just barely kissed away there. Still sitting at 0-0 with both teams. Quite close to scoring already.
Indeed, yeah, quick and easy is what this has looked like. And, well, I mean, I said it might be a close series, and already looking and shaping up to me maybe just that. Minute in, no goals scored, but lots of back and forth.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth here for sure. We see a boom, I almost said a boost. That's not what I meant to say. We see a demolition coming in through here from Bigun. And it looks like Mecca is going to be able to get some ball control in the air. I talked about aerial gameplay earlier and how much I really think it could make a positive difference for a team, kind of take them from that good to great. But right now, nobody's really been able to capitalize off that aerial gameplay. We've seen a lot of up, but a lot more down as well. The ball really seems to be sticking low.
Yeah, and I think there's two reasons for that. Number one, the touches off the back of those wide and high shots just not necessarily connecting in the air. And number two, well, it's been good defense for both sides. So everybody knocking that ball down when possible.
Yeah, knocking the ball down is obviously going to help you engage, just a little bit more consistently. You're going to be able to find that momentum and maybe pass to a teammate a little easier. Playing in the air in this game is way harder than any of these players ever make it look, right? Like, it is honestly a very difficult thing to do. So seeing them play a little bit lower to the ground is a little more expected, honestly. So I'm really curious to see which one of these teams can walk away angry here. It looks like it's going to be Ducky, who does find that first goal here for Marquette. Some positive momentum already, but it did take about 2 minutes to put that first goal away.
Yeah, but great placement on that shot from Ducky G, though. Top right corner, nobody can get to it. Mecha Fusion was on the attempt, but it just doesn't go his way. So with that, Marquette up by 1, just about 3 minutes on the clock. And another nice attempt from Nito Burrito, but it's going to be defended easily.
Yeah, like you said, an easy defense coming through. It's going to be positive momentum with Son of Car. That one's not going to get blocked out. No defense coming quite yet. Marquette. This feels very similar to the UConn game we watched a moment ago. It took a while for somebody to find momentum, but as soon as they did, the wheels started turning, and Marquette walking away 2-0 already, not even in the second half.
Yeah, another great just shot placement, and on top of that, a little bit of a mistake there by the player in goal. So with that, St. John's down by 2 is not an ideal position to be in. But with 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock, there definitely are opportunities to get back in here.
Right. Absolutely. There's definitely opportunities to engage. We're still in the first half, like we mentioned a moment ago, so we want to see kind of what they do in the second half. It's really when you kind of have to push it up to fifth gear, so to speak, really bring your 110%. And right now, St. John's, their offense has been good, but it needs to be that great, right? They're able to get it into the back third of Marquette, but scoring, very similar from what we saw from DePaul earlier, scoring is where they kind of start to struggle just a bit.
And reads have been a bit off too. Those aerial shots that we were talking about, that's what allowed one of those goals to go through. And so St. John's definitely need to work on that a little bit. That being said, lots of potential here for them to take advantage. And like we were talking about before, 2 minutes ticking away, still time on the clock.
Yeah, like you said, still plenty of time on the clock. I'd say 2 minutes is, eons in the world of Rocket League, right? That is beyond enough time for St. John's to really turn this one around. Marquette doing a great job just keeping that consistent ball control, really getting aggressive when they need to, but also playing it slower when they need to be, right? And Ducky there, speeding up, is exactly in the perfect moment, able to catch the ball out right in front of the goal. And now Marquette finding themselves at 3-0 with only 102 seconds left on the clock. Things are getting a little rough for St. John's, but there's still time to turn it around.
Yeah, I think things are certainly starting to look a little rough. The reason I say that, though, is because these misreads are happening more and more often. There's some moments where Marquette just kind of placing the ball in a generally attainable area. Well, not actually coming to fruition for St. John. So they're going to have to clean those up just a little bit if they want to bring things back. But it's going to get harder and harder as time continues to tick away.
Yeah. Now I think we're watching St. John's race a little bit more against the clock than they are against Marquette, right? If they're able to find these goals, even if they can find one, they're going to have to find 2 more just to keep the game alive. They're going to have to find an extra one just to win it out. So now 68 seconds left on the clock, and things are going to become even more difficult here. I'm getting to that point where I don't want to count them out yet, but I think St. John's is going to have to kiss game 1 goodbye.
I imagine that way too, Sebtulance. I think you and I both feeling the tide turning, and well,
Yeah.
the tide being turned to, and it's only one way. It's Marquette. Even if that were to, magically go in, 45 seconds on the clock, it's just a tough task. And Marquette, their offense has been phenomenal. So much so that St. John, they haven't had much of a chance to get off the defense.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, because I thought this was interesting, but St. John's, they're very much going for kind of what I would call Hail Mary plays, right? They're really going to shoot the ball from midfield or just the beginning of the back third of Marquette, because they can't choose to engage that far because Marquette's defense has just been too strong. They'll immediately push in too far, lose ball control, and probably get scored on if we're being realistic. So St. John's, they've really had to play a lot slower of a pace than perhaps they wanted to.
I will add a caveat to that, though. You talked about last game. You lose 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Yeah.
And I think there's some of that going on right now. St. John, yes, they're scared, but you can't afford to play scared. Not when you're down by 3. And, well, down by 3, that's where this game's more than likely going to stand as last chance scenario here by Son of Gar.
Son of Gar going in getting angry, but no, Marquette will walk away. Up by 3, that's good enough for me coming through here. Marquette really looking like UConn. I've got to say, an aggressive victory. Honestly, not to insult UConn here, but I do want to take back that comment. I think Marquette's probably the cleanest we've seen out of the 4 teams so far with that performance. I mean, that was a 3-0 victory. The defense seemed unbreakable. The offense was perfect when it needed to be. So Marquette, I mean, that was a very good showing here in game 1.
I can't argue with a singular word you've just put forward there. The other thing to talk about, right, is that I want to kind of flesh out what I was discussing there at the very end. St. John, there was a couple of times where instead of going for it, now, sometimes if you go for it, you can leave yourself wide open, but it's about communication. You have to make sure that someone's back, and that allows you, the individual, to actually go for it and take an attempt at a 50-50 or something along those lines. Well, St. John's, they just weren't doing that. They were very much just allowing for Marquette to have as much space as they wanted up until that 50-yard mark, and then they were trying to actually take a move from there. It was only then that they were really attempting to do anything and not following up with their clears. So if you're not even trying to follow up with those clears, or you're too scared to move forward, you're never going to have an opportunity to score. And that's sort of the situation that St. John kind of got stuck in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like we're going to be taking a super short break real quick. I think we're going to try to get a couple of things figured out. So, oh, just kidding. No break. Even better. So I definitely want to talk about, I think what you were trying to say there, and correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but there's this phrase where I often use where I talk about proactive versus reactive, right?
Yes.
Where we have one of the teams coming through being hyper aggressive. They're the ones coordinating, and then the other team tries to react to what's being brought to the table. So I think St. John's, they were trying to go for that reactive play style, but Marquette was simply too proactive, right? It felt like a game of chess where Marquette found themselves 4, 5, 6 steps ahead, and St. John's just could not react fast enough.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, that was definitely a situation where Marquette were playing chess and St. John playing some checkers. Good game either way you look at it, but, well, it's not ideal.
Yeah, not ideal in the slightest. We're going to be seeing Ducky already going for a shot on goal. Not quite able to find it there, getting lined out just a bit. Nito Burrito with a follow-up. So Marquette there just punching St. John's in the face here, just constantly trying to break this defense. And third time might be the charm. Nito Burrito going to go high, not quite able to find that shot. Now cleared into the back third of Marquette, but Ducky, perfect timing, right place, right time, going for another goal for Marquette, and they're finally going to put it away. 5th time's the charm. Marquette finding themselves up 1-0.
Yeah, and I just took a look, by the way, at the statistics from last map. Guess what? 0 shots for St. John on
yeah.
goal. That is something that has to change. There's no doubt about it. Needs to change right here, right now. 4.5 minutes on the clock. Lots of time to do that changing, and Primal trying to do just that.
Yeah, Primal trying to make all the difference there. A great air dribble, honestly, really able to keep that momentum positive, but wasn't quite able to put the goal down, and that's kind of the unfortunate part, right? Is none of that matters, none of the cool plays, none of the passes, unless the ball goes in goal. So we see St. John's really coming to life, some great individual play, especially from Primal, but Marquette, they're still feeling just a little bit stronger.
Just by that margin, right? That we've kind of been talking about, and also the defense for Marquette, if and when it's been necessary, it's been phenomenal, hasn't it? Really, no doubt in my mind that they've always been back in position to gain everything. And that's another ball that I was talking about where you could have maybe gone for it, but instead Nito Burrito just free to take shots and make shots. Easy as Nito Burrito just puts it into the back of the goal.
Yeah, so I feel like we're kind of seeing the same problem over and over again, right? Where we saw this happen with DePaul, we're seeing it happen again with St. John's. Perhaps we're going a little bit too far from goal. I think, the greatest teams, they always have somebody in that back third, right? Somebody always has that emergency goalie. And I think a couple of the teams we've seen today haven't been playing with that mindset, which leaves their goal wide open. And Ducky, there was nothing St. John's could have done there. I'm sorry, that was the goal for Marquette. There was literally, Ducky rolls it all the way up to the front door. St. John's does the only thing they could prevent one goal, but they cannot move fast enough to protect a second.
Yeah, it's oftentimes that second approach that is the deadly one. And, Big and Jader, I got to give credit where it's due. Did a good job of blocking that first one, to be honest, even though it was a phenomenal touch.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. A great job there, able to find that first shot, but then the second one, just, like you said, you can only move so fast. These cars move so fast. That's what the game's all about, but there's still a limit on exactly how fast you can move, and they could not move fast enough. Marquette already up 3-0. Reminder, this is where the game ended last time, was at a 3-0 margin. Now, Nito Burrito looking to make it 4. Here comes Ducky with the pass, but Senekar not in the proper positioning. St. John's, this could be their time to turn ball control around, but it's going to be tough.
Passing going a little bit wide, but these shots they're attempting, they're certainly on target. It's 1v3 though on the push, and this is where St. John's, they've done a good job of trying to take advantage. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, they're just not able to find the momentum quite like they want. Now off the crossbar, goes up high, but is the follow-up there? Off the crossbar again. We always say the crossbar, she is the best defender in the game. Just always blocking shots left, right, and center. Now it's going to be 2.5 minutes left. We are officially in the second half. St. John's still yet to put a single point online as Nito Burrito finds the 4th for Marquette.
Yeah, and here's another good example, right, where only one player is back, and the rotation's just a little bit on the slower side for St. John. And that allows for Marquette to come back on the clear.
Yep.
Makes it easy, 1-2 punch. That second player coming back in for the shot on target. But with that being said, 2 minutes is ticking away shortly. It feels once again that St. John are going to have to pull some heroics, especially now.
With 2 minutes left on the clock, I really don't want to count out St. John's yet, but Marquette,
what a touch.
They are just dunking on St. John's right now. This has been so clean, so aggressive. The fadeaway, truly the fadeaway. That is just a perfect execution, some flawless gameplay there from Marquette. This team, sometimes it's about sending a message, and I think Marquette is looking to do just that.
The message right now is dominance, and, the
message right now is look out.
Yeah,
that's the message right now. To anybody watching, this is Marquette sending that message.
They're saying, listen, we are here and we are ready to play. There's no doubt in my mind. 5-0, 1 minute and 40 seconds, Setplants. This is starting to look grim.
Yeah, I'm ready to count St. John's, unfortunately, out of game 2 here as well. Coming through just some hyper aggression from Marquette. And, sometimes there's just an unfortunate kind of matchup, right? Almost an unfortunate seed placement, so to speak. And that really does seem to be what's happened here so far. St. John's, they've made some great improvements. They're being offensive, which is what we asked for. They've come through. They're not just playing in that defensive boot anymore, but still Marquette, they are just relentless.
Senekar trying to get a little stylish with it over there. Nearly make that aerial work, the flip reset, but not going to happen. But either way, St. John, I would love to see them take a goal here. That would really really set the tone for a game 3 where they could maybe turn the tide, especially because they've definitely had some shots on goal this time out. Not a fat 0 like in game 1.
Right. Crazy caster comment here, but I think truly that a lot of Rocket League is almost more mental than it is physical. Like, of course, there's a skill difference between teams and whatnot, but if you let yourself kind of get boomed, that really is going to be damaging to the team almost more than playing poorly. And I think that, that could be something that a lot of these teams need to look at, is looking at every game just as a GG go next. Sometimes, as weird as it is, there's nothing you can do to win that game. You just got to look at the next one as that GG go next.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I would add on to that as we see Marquette confirming a 6th goal. Sort of not going to change the outcome here, but I'd kind of add on to that you can always win or lose a game with skill, but you're 100% going to lose games that you're mentally moved in. Yeah. That's the reality. So not to say that the individual skill doesn't necessarily matter, because it does massively matter. But if you get mentally boomed, even a great team can lose easily.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt at all. But of course, remember, this is game 2, right? So there is a possibility that St. John's can win game 3, maybe force to game 4. And they've got to do exactly what we're talking about, right? They've got to look at this as that GG go next. You lost the first 2. You've got to go into the third one, a completely clean slate, a complete start over. Now, Marquette, they do walk away with that game 2 victory. With St. John's, this is their time, right? Things have been fully reset. They're able to come through swinging, and this is going to be that prime opportunity to fully reset the bar.
Yeah, I think goal-wise here for St. John's, you got to be realistic. A couple goals on the board would be fantastic. A victory would be out of this world. Yeah. Even to send us to a game 4. But as we look towards game number 3, Marquette has been nothing but dominant. No questions asked. They had 3 goals there in game 1, 6 in game 2. And well, if that sort of, it goes to show what we're going to see in game 3. Ooh, that's a little scary. Got to be honest. So, Septulence, for me, I'm hoping St. John's can, number 1, put themselves in position to get a goal or 2, really show that, they're there, they're kicking, they're ready to go. And the secondary to that, pull 1 or 2, step up that defense and maybe buckle down, maybe get a victory. That would be the best case scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is definitely going to be kind of, how do I want to say this? I know that you and I kind of cast a lot of games, right? We both kind of jump back and forth, so to speak. But this game in particular, something that's always kind of bugged me a little bit is there's no, you can't just change your comp the way you can in other teams, right? And in other games, you can't just, we'll just play meta, right? Because this is Rocket League. There's no team swaps. There's no compositions that can be changed. It just comes down.
It's raw.
It's raw. Absolutely. It is raw fundamentals. It is raw gameplay. So we need to see St. John's just utilize that raw gameplay a little bit better, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Step up, buckle down, and just get going. With that said, we're back underway here with game number 3. Where Marquette are looking to close this down in quick succession.
Yeah, Marquette, they're looking to get us our second 3-0 of the evening, which I'm really hoping all 4 that we have are not 3-0s. I'll be a little bit sad if I'm honest, but Marquette, they are definitely trying to put one away now. Half a minute off the clock, things coming through just a little bit slower than normal, but when you're in the position Marquette is, you don't have to force anything right now, right? You can be that opportunistic team. You can find great opportunities. St. John's, a pretty big misplay there. 2 players slamming into one another, just sealing all momentum away. But here comes Begon, trying to find something in the center field. Ducky, though, right place, right time, trying to find a goal. There it is. Mecca comes through, able to find that ball control. The follow-up from Nito, not quite able to put it away.
But that sort of play is what we've been talking about all the time. It's playing aggressively, looking for the victories, just cutting your opponents off at the knees. And oh my goodness, Nito just about hitting that one, but he's just off target.
Yeah, I think they're going to need Nito to change some things up here on the side of St. John's. Marquette has been coming through beyond powerful, absolutely insane. This is going to be... this is a good showing. I talked about sending a message earlier, but it was a bit more joke. This team, they have very clearly shown that there's been some great improvement. They're coming through super strong, hyper aggressive as well. I honestly, if this is how they play for the rest of the season, this is a team that can give Seton Hall a run for their money.
They definitely are showing themselves very, very well. Right. And that's what you like to see. You really do. You always want to see that come through. And, we've been seeing that here. But still scoreless here 2 minutes in. Very big difference. And that's a nice save as well by Primal.
That was a close shot there. I really thought that was going to go in, but there it is. again, it's just
Oh.
Marquette playing what I kind of called earlier. They're just
I'm
punching
dumb
down
dirty.
this wall, right? One shot at a time. And the defense can only move so quickly. So we're seeing some great action coming through from Marquette. There's still 3 minutes left on the clock, and they are looking to put a little bow on this game already.
Despite the fact that I've just cast Curse St. John's, beyond that, that was the mistake. There was 2 triple commits in a row.
Yep.
That one,
Oh, wow.
that one you can't do anything about. I mean, it's just really well played. Ducky on to Son of Car, easy as you like. He's one player to beat, and you can't beat 2 of them.
Yeah, you truly can't. The triple commit is a mistake that we see a lot of teams make, honestly, pretty often, right? They want to go, everybody wants to save the day, trying to be the hero, so to speak, but you can't always do that, the triple commit. I personally, I'm never a fan of a double commit, and I feel like that is a relatively easy thing for a team to fix. If they come through, we want them to come through, and it's as simple as saying, got it, right? Like, I've got the ball, I'll keep an eye on it, kind of, so on and so forth. But some teams, that mistake isn't something that is processed, so to speak. So we want to see kind of those improvements moving forward for the rest of the season. Coming into the second half now, Ducky going for the double tap. The follow-up comes through from Son of Car. 2 of them putting it away. They are just farming a highlight reel at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it was scoreless for a near 2 minutes. The following minute, now 3 in a row for Marquette. And St. John's are looking to, just attempt to get something going here late in the game. Halftime already over. And I think the adjustments that need to be made are very clear.
Yeah, I mean, better late than never, right? If St. John's can start putting a couple of points online, that could really help them with momentum. I think 2 minutes is plenty of time to turn this around, but realistically, every second that ticks down, of course, the harder and harder it gets, especially when Marquette is still putting away shots.
But yeah, every time St. John's go down another point, that's just so much more that they have to pick up.
Right.
And I mean, like I said, it's still in that same minute, and now it's 4 goals rather than 3.
Yeah, no doubt. This is going to be harder and harder, more and more difficult. And I believe that was a hat trick. I'm not positive. Honestly, I've lost track with the amount of times that
By
Marquette
Son of
has
Car,
scored.
yes?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a Son of Car
Yeah.
hat trick, but I'm
Agreed.
not positive on that one. I want to talk about as well, kind of while we're still in the remainder of this game, how I think the scariest thing about Marquette that I have seen up to this point is they're not being carried by anyone. That's the scary part. It's a lot of these teams, a lot of the times, just kind of a front runner, right? Kind of somebody getting aggressive, finding all the shots on goal, so on and so forth. But nobody from Marquette has stood out to me that way, but in the best way possible, right? It's because all of them are top fragging. All of them are those front runners. It is a sight to behold, truly.
It's been impressive. There's no doubt about it. Everyone's stepping up. Everyone coming in. I will say that I gotta give credit where it's due, though, to Son of Car, who has sort of been the facilitator in a lot of ways, and in this game in particular, been the finisher. But it has been and Ducky G kind of taking over that facilitator role that I feel like Son of Car has had the majority of this series.
Yeah, that's actually fair. That's maybe I jumped the gun a little bit. That's definitely a fair observation there. But Ducky coming in again, able to find the 5th point for Marquette. Whew! It has been a great series for them.
Yeah, and just look at the shots. 2 shots to what is quick maths tell me 15 for Marquette.
Woo-hoo!
That is. I mean, put it this way: it's a surprise that the score isn't more one-sided based on those stats.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put that, is considering that we have seen now 16 shots on goal, Marquette only landing 6 of them, you really think this score would be higher, which feels so weird to say, but believe it or not, that is the case here in this.
Well, and I think credit for that goes to St. James, because you look at the saves there, Big on Jader at the very top. That's like 12 saves with everyone combined. So it's definitely St. James. We're playing a much better game here at the beginning of game 3. So I think we definitely had seen some improvement, but now with the score the way it is, it's just too far gone.
Marquette's what is that saying? Beating the dead horse here a little bit. They are, but I've talked to enough collegiate players in my time. I know that no matter how far they are, they will not stop scoring. I have talked to enough, and every time I always say, blank team is so far ahead they don't have to worry about scoring anymore. That's not going to stop them. They're going to continue to score. Now 17 shots on goal. I wonder if Marquette's going to go for the Brazil here. They've got the 7 points. Are they going to let St. John's score one?
I mean, Maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. 10 seconds left.
Set up car, looking to make it 8 instead of 7. Yeah, okay, so I don't think we're going to be seeing the Brazil here. I think we're going to be seeing Marquette try to score as many times as possible, as aggressively as possible. And
They saved
Nito
it.
Burrito not letting the ball touch the ground, so perhaps a bit of BM here. And not even an overtime shot, just Marquette taking a very aggressive victory there, coming through strong over St. John's. And that, like I said, if that's the way they play consistently, that's a team to give Seton Hall a run.
Definitely was impressive. There's just no doubt about it. The way that Marquette were able to run up the scoreboard too, just it really put St. John on the back foot as well. I want to give credit though where I think it's due towards St. John though. I think they did make adjustments over the course of the series. First half there of game number 3 really was impressive. The defense was solid, but at some point that defense had to break, and you saw when the breaking point happened, it was not just a crack, it was a floodgate that had been opened up, and the scoring just came in faster and faster from there.
100%. And we're actually going to get to talk with Nito Burrito here in just a couple of minutes. We're to a super short break, and then we will be right back with an interview. Don't go far, folks. There is still so much Rocket League left to be played. Welcome back, all you Rocket League fans and something else. We are going to be jumping into an interview here with Nito Burrito, who is on the team of Marquette I made a comment after game 1 about Marquette being the cleanest team we've seen today, and I was hesitant to say it then. I'm not hesitant to say it now. Marquette, easily the cleanest team we have seen today. But we're going to be jumping into an interview with Nito Burrito. How you feeling, my friend?
Not bad. Not too bad. Good week.
Yeah, I can assume so. After such a convincing victory, I mean, really looking good. So my question, outside of today's game, right, kind of moving forward into the rest of the season, into the rest of the year, how do you guys feel about your chances? I think that was a really strong start here in week 2. Do you think you're going to be able to carry that momentum forward for the rest of the season?
Honestly, yeah, I'm pretty confident. Like, we scrim a lot and we do pretty well in scrims. We did well in the CRL quals that happened this past weekend and the weekend before. So yeah, honestly, Like the way we've been playing, I'm feeling pretty good about the rest of the season.
Heck yeah, I love to hear positivity. I love to hear when players are thinking that they're gonna pull up. So when you say pretty well, what do you think the heights? What's the highest that you could go? Can you win it all?
Honestly, yeah, I think we could.
Okay,
Yeah,
I love
I don't think
it.
that's too far off.
I mean, listen, UConn, they better watch out. I love to hear that. And as a follow up, is there any particular team that you think might give you a run for your money? I think there's an obvious answer, but I'm curious to hear what you think.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's definitely Seton Hall.
There it is.
Definitely.
Okay, there we go.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough game with them, but honestly, the way we've been playing, I feel pretty confident.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. You guys have been really picking up the momentum, so to speak. This was an insane set.
Hmm.
And then Vincent, do you have any more questions? All right,
No.
sweet. I want to make sure I didn't interrupt you. I kind of just picked up there. But okay, so the last question, pulling us out of the game a little bit, just kind of getting to talk to you a little bit more as a player, a person, behind the screen. Is there anybody you want to shout out or anybody you want to thank just while we've got you here in the interview?
Well, first of all, definitely shout out to the boys, Josh, Carson, Ducky, putting in the grind this season. We've been doing great. Shout out to everybody at home too. If my friend Pat's watching this, shout out to him.
Shout out, Pat.
Let's go.
Absolutely, and yeah, I mean, yeah, that's great. We always love to talk to you guys. It's always fun to talk about the game from the outside, right? But we never really get to hear what happened until we get to speak to one of you. So we really do appreciate you joining us.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for casting.
Yeah, absolute. Thanks for playing. Thanks for coming out. We literally could not cast without you guys. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And you tell the rest of your team, great job as well.
Will do. You guys have a good one.
Thank you much. And with that, folks, we're going to throw it to another break. I don't know when the next game's supposed to start either, but I know as soon as we throw it, there's going to be a schedule on you guys. So we will be right back whenever that schedule says we will. Don't go far. Like I said earlier, there's still a lot of Rocket League left to be played today.
Is it nature or nurture? A common curse is a virtue. True spoken, but not live yelled and fell churches. My hand searches for a reason to write verses. A meaning to this in poetic etiquette circles, full of themselves, stuffing their egos with lyrics itself. Of what you got and what you spend and what you can sell. Like yourself, short of full game, half court. Light a new torch so we don't get off course and breathe. One more listen to the elegy, the devil's melody of what if, and never let it be as it is. The evolution of Leviathan, swimming through the higher sins of science, so try again. My defense obtained a higher fence and rip it down till I get burned like Icarus with wax wings. But this new set is everlasting. Don't cry, Cain, we see you overacting. Right like wisdom, floating through millennia. Hands in the air, it's the love that I'm living in. Right like wisdom, floating through millennium. Hands in the air, it's the love that I'm living in. Yeah, you the truth, even shining through the moon. Arise so the lies will remove. Son, yeah, you the truth, even shining through the moon. Arise so the lies will remove. Son, it's slippery moments, I'm moving, grooving precocious. Eating honey and locusts, working on my magnum opus. Dipping into the ocean of thought, I caught hopeless. And then I wrote this stanza, gotcha, hypnosis. Stand still like a landfill filled with anvils. Watch a man build pyramids from an anthill. Dreaming, got the thesis, but I'm seasick. Please complete this thought, my mind in the Preakness running. With skillful cunning, jumping the obstacles with logical understanding. Demanding the possible outcomes. I outrun Apollo across suns. One love while I move the people without guns. On one accord, simulating life on a chessboard. Caught you slipping, didn't say Uno, so now you draw four. Maybe a game, no single change in the lanes. Move in a different direction, but things stay the same. Bright light wisdom, floating through millennium. Hands in the air, it's the love that I'm living in. Bright light wisdom, floating through millennium. Hands in the air, it's the love that I'm living in. Yeah, you the truth, even shining through the moon. Arise so the lies will remove. Son, yeah, you the truth, even shining through the moon. Arise so the lies will remove. Son, bright light, bright light, bright light, wisdom, 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 flowing through millennium, flowing through millennium. Yeah, you the truth, even shining through the moon. Arise so the lies will remove. Son. Star, B plus, Green Tracks. Peace.
Standard issue cotton sheet. A fort the wind cannot defeat. The moon is caught up in a tree. Stars remain in revelry. And you're wrapped in royal blue. You're wrapped in royal blue. Is that the sound you sing in my mouth? You put your face to my face. The moon is cut down from a tree. What remains in revelry. You're wrapped in royal blue.
ehtoja, katkaistu historiaa. Haluun, ettei tarvi katsoa, ei karttoja, ei kuvia tai viestejä unista. Just nyt tarvii. Just sun takia. Haluun, et käytät mua. Haluun, et voin antautua. Haluun, etten pysty juosta taikka piiloutua, kun meinaa tukehtua taas. Haluun, et käytät mua. Kuiskaa mulle, et ei.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. I may be a ghost. I may turn into a robot. I'm having a lot of technical issues now, but either way, I'm going to try to stick through them, and I appreciate if all of you could as well. I am Septilence. Even if you can't see me, I'm still here, and of course, I'm still joined by Vince, and we're going to be jumping into our third of 4 games today. There's even more games after him and I leave, but we're going to be jumping into this in just a moment. Vincent, Georgetown versus Villanova. Let's hear about it, man.
Yeah, well, two teams that are coming in 0-1, but two very different stories for these two teams. Villanova, tough loss. They did take a map off of Marquette last week, but it was a 3-1 series overall, and I actually casted that one. Man, good for Villanova to pick up that one. Georgetown, on the other hand, forfeit loss there on week 1. Tough to say, but we're underway here at Georgetown in blue. Villanova coming in under orange.
Oh! Woo, Villanova looking for an early goal there, trying to find some value, but unfortunately not able to pick it up yet. We see Pocus getting aggressive there, trying to get a great setup, but no follow-up now. I'm a Horse, arguably best player name in the league, trying to make something happen there, but it's going to be Riley instead with a great assist, who puts that first point online for Villanova.
Yeah, that touch there from I'm a Horse, quality, and the follow-up even better. That mid shot coming to fruition for Villanova in the start here. It's a tough task to say who's favored, considering that Georgetown, we didn't really get any information from them on the on last week, but with Villanova playing in the way they did against Marquette, gotta say, they really impressed.
Yeah, I mean, things looking good, right? We know that we're going to be making a little appearance here from Villanova, and I'm hoping we get anything except another 3-0, right? Even just a game 4, even if that game 4 ends in 3-0, right? I just want to see at least a game 4 here coming out. We haven't even been close to one of those yet. And Villanova, they're certainly pulling no punches to make sure we get one. I'm a Horse and find another point for Villanova.
2 points, 1 minute, and I'm a Horse on the board as we get through Villanova. I mean, that was just well placed, on target. Nobody back, nobody in position for this Georgetown team. So, gotta ask the question, where were those rotations? They were gone. And with that, an early lead here for Villanova, sort of setting the tone, aren't they?
Yeah, no doubt about that. Villanova, they're coming out super strong, finding some great value here. And this feels very reminiscent of, I hate to say it, every game we've seen so far today up to this point. Great progress for Villanova in terms of aggression and just kind of hyper-focus. They've really been able to force Georgetown onto the back foot, into that defensive slot, and they're really taking advantage with that. Villanova, they seem to be our proactive team of Game 3.
Now they are, and for now, they've been doing a fantastic job of defending when necessary, but their offense has been electrifying, and it continues to be just as much. Focus there coming in for the score. I think that's Zen normally, and Focus, I believe, in for Zen as a sub, if I'm not mistaken, but nicely done. 3-0 here, Septilence.
Yeah, I've got to say, Focus is coming in as a sub. By golly, they made a positive impact already, able to find some great value there. Just hard goofing toward the ball, able to get a great kind of goal after it, putting, like you said, Villanova up 3-0. And I believe each player on Villanova has scored a point. I'm not positive on that, though.
I think so, yeah. Now definitely has. I'm a Horse, Riley, and now Focus all getting involved.
Yeah, so this is by no means a single slotted matchup here. We see all three players of this team. Like I mentioned earlier, teams that are strong kind of all around, some very well coordinated, impressive teams. Now those are the ones that you really got to keep an eye on. Villanova, they are just opening the floodgates here.
Yeah, and they're showing their 2 years of experience, even with a second player in there, and it's I'm a horse on the double tap to clean up number 4.
Yeah, this is, I mean, like you said, number 4 is certainly getting cleaned up here. We are seeing some great value time and time again from Villanova. And I did want a close series. I really thought we were going to get one, but unfortunately, I'm not too sure of that fact now.
And not looking likely, I'll tell you what. But you know, things can turn and change. Okay, all right. Let me speak, guys. Villanova. I'm just trying to make the point. Tide can turn, but well, Villanova, they are just jamming nails inside the coffin that is Georgetown University.
Yeah, this is very much one of those series where we hardly get a word in edgewise because one of the teams is just steamrolling over and over.
Man, what a start here for Villanova. It's really showing their class.
Oh.
Georgetown could, you know, maybe call a couple back. That would be a nice look, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be a great way to kind of move into the following matchups or even following game. Maybe even turn this one around as Captain Levi finds that first point. Now, you only need 4 more in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I think that's... I'm not going to do the math on that. I just know that's not a lot of time per goal.
Yeah, somewhere along the lines of 33, 34 seconds a goal, I think. So, either way, it's not great. You know,
Right.
math aside.
Math aside, no matter what the number is, we know it's not a good one. So,
There you go.
They are really racing against the clock. They're really trying to find some great value here. They put a point on line, which is good for mental kind of one way or another. Captain Levi putting the second one down. Coming through, really starting to pick up the heat for Georgetown. Things slowly turning in their favor, but now 2 minutes, you only need 3 more. So, of course, that gap closing with each goal that Georgetown finds.
Just Legal with the assist on that one, and you're right. I mean, that's 2 goals in just under 20 seconds, by the way. So, if you want to get technical, this is certainly comebackable for Georgetown. They're just going to have to continue to score at that pace, and that's going to be the hard part.
Yeah, I mean, if we're hitting 1 goal per 20 seconds, this is going to be a cakewalk, right? This is going to be a breeze. But, you know, if we're not able to find those shots when we need them most, that's really going to hurt. Now, a minute 40 on the clock, only a 3-point difference. But 3 points, you know, that can be a mountain or that can be a molehill, depending on how fast Georgetown can really find their momentum here.
That's exactly right. But for now, Georgetown, they've been stalled out just a little bit. It was two goals in 20 seconds, but then the next 30 have been scoreless. So, not ideal, and with that shot on goal nearly found, it's Captain Levi who's continuing to have a fantastic game to defend.
To bring it up the best they can for Georgetown. Really want to make a statement.
Except I think you're a little robot-y there, my friend. So, with that being said, we're going to carry on here with Villanova. Time Horse taking control, well defended by Legal. And that goes to the wide corner. The tips here by Zaret. But this midfield battle, a difficult one to find. Georgetown now very much going to find it difficult to pull a victory with 30 seconds on the clock. This midfield battle continuing as it's now cleared over towards the Georgetown side. Riley going to take control for the time being. Clears to I'm a Horse, who's going to have a shot on goal. That's wide open. Takes a little bit long to take that shot. Screen clears, but Riley's there. Another attempt being made, but with 10 seconds left, this is just looking like it's going to be over for Georgetown. And with 4 seconds left, yeah, don't think we're going to have much of anything. It was a valiant effort. Georgetown, yeah, they really did start to make that comeback. A couple of good goals as we still work in overtime or no time, whatever you like to call this scenario. But ultimately, it doesn't matter who gets the goal there. It's Villanova to take the victory. And it's off the back of some fantastic play. Everyone getting involved. I'm a Horse, Riley, Pocus, all doing the work. As it is just myself with no longer a ghostly semblance as he looks to figure out some of his network issues. Hopefully we'll have him back ASAP. But with that being said, We are looking at a Villanova squad that I talked about last week. Marquette, they played them. It was 3-1 favoring Marquette, but listen, Villanova showing that they have what it takes, and right now Georgetown down by 1. We're gonna head to a short little break whilst we get the next game underway. Villanova looking strong. Alrighty, folks, welcome back for some more Rocket League. I know it doesn't look like it, but our friend Sepulence is indeed back on the microphone. He missed out on the last bit of that last matchup, but it was Villanova to take the victory over Georgetown in very, very dominant fashion. We lost you for the last bit of that, Sep, but I really don't think you need much filling in.
Sure. Yeah, no, I am here. Vincent is correct. Believe it or not, I'm in the world around you. I guess I'm all over, but I am definitely. I did catch, like you said, the majority of that. I definitely saw was ending in favor of Villanova when I abruptly had to exit. But you know, they definitely come through strong, and I suspect, honestly, they're probably going to keep the momentum moving forward. I talked about earlier how I thought this team, I remembered them not being one of the strongest we had here at the EGF, but so far they've come through today against Georgetown, and they have really started to make a name. It's about sending that message.
Yeah, well, listen, sending a message, they've sent one, and it is very, very clear. It is Georgetown, you better watch out here as the series comes on, because that game one, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. It was either like 6 or 7 something like that was the score, I think.
When I left, it was 5.
So okay, it might have ended at 5. I'm not 100% sure, but regardless, 5, 6, or 7, it was one-sided. So Georgetown
right.
really need to step
Oh,
up, and they're gonna find an open goal off the bat. Wow!
You asked them to step up, Vincent. They heard you loud and clear, my friend. They come through strong and open goal in Georgetown. Serene, in general, just dunks it in. Able to find some great momentum already. We got to look at every game as a GG go next. In Georgetown, they're doing just that, already putting themselves in the lead here in Game 2.
They are, and, well, that's a big mistake from Villanova, but listen, they show out like they did last game. I don't know that it's going to matter long term, but that's definitely going to be a confidence booster for Georgetown.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no question. I mean, they've got to be on top of the world right now, able to take such an aggressive goal right at the start of the game. Was there even 5 seconds off the clock? I really don't think so. That was right off the kickoff that goal came through. So Georgetown, they're coming out super strong. They're able to find some great momentum. They're looking for even more, but Captain Levi will get caught out by Pocus there. So Georgetown going to be remaining at that 1 point, but hey, that's still 1 point in the lead.
That's right. And listen, that's 1 point they didn't even have early on at all. That said, Pocus, he's found another point, and this time it's in the score column for Villanova.
Yeah, Pocus is going to be able to put that online for Villanova. That 1 point lead turned into what I always call a complicated 0-0, because as long as it's tied up, nobody walks away. There's no draws. There's no ties. There's nothing. One of these teams has to win.
That they do. 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Still very early. Dangerous ball right there. Got cleared out, fortunately, for Villanova, but lots of more opportunities happening in this game than we saw in the prior one already.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw somebody clear in front of their own goal, which we talked about earlier, is never an idea that we are particularly fond of, but I'll admit there are times where it works, and we get a little bit dangerous here and there, but I definitely don't want to be seeing Georgetown take any risks such as that when they're in a scenario like the one they're currently in, right? They're tied up, they're currently down a game, they really want to take the lead, they want to take Game 2. I would love to see at least one of these teams bring us a Game 4.
Look how much Georgetown has been on the offense already, just in the first minute and a half. Very impressive comparatively. We saw a lot of Villanova offense, a lot of very one-sided affairs, but this time, Georgetown, they're really stepping up big.
No doubt. No doubt in the slightest. Georgetown, they're coming out swinging. They had to, maybe there's a bit of a warm-up, perhaps, in that first game, what I always like to call the feeling out period. You kind of get to learn what your opponents are going to bring to the table. With Georgetown now, they have found it out. They have cracked the code, so to speak, and they are really trying to give Villanova a run for their money.
That they are, but, well, is it going to be enough? I'm not too sure, considering that Georgetown, they've stepped up, but it's still a tight scoreline, right?
Oh,
it's only one error either side to allow for a lead, and that's scary.
Yeah, I think scary is a great word for it. One micro mistake, the smallest incidence of error, and a team can take the lead, right? A fraction of a mistake even could push these teams into a losing scenario, and neither of them want that, right? Villanova, they want to walk into Game 3 with a 2-0 lead. Georgetown, they don't want to fall 2-0. They want to be able to take this game. So it's both these teams, almost everything on the line right now, and there it is. I'm a horse, going to rip that line in favor of Villanova.
Yeah, really nice shot, too. You look at it, line drive, essentially. Nobody's back. Everyone trying to go aggressively. And, I talked a lot in a prior series today about being aggressive, not playing reactive like you were discussing. Georgetown trying to play aggressive there, they get caught out. That's part of the danger at times of getting too aggressive. You can get exposed.
Absolutely, there's definitely that level of over-aggression here in the world of Rocket League. Is these teams, they can give it their 100%, they can give it their all, but if they give it too much, if they forget that they're also defending a goal, that's really when they start to crumble a little bit. Now Villanova getting aggressive once again, going for that third goal, really trying to grow that gap between the teams. But Georgetown, I've got to say, they're fighting much harder, much more even. They're stepping up toe-to-toe with Villanova very strongly here in Game 2.
They are indeed, but yeah, that's a tough one. Honestly, Riley put that in a perfect position.
Yeah.
It was really hard to read, really hard to defend, and I mean, honestly, I don't even blame Serene for that. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like, you're behind the ball, you could have tried, but maybe it would have been an own goal, maybe even still. So, a nice attempt there by Georgetown to defend, but Villanova ultimately just doing them dirty as they have a third goal and a 2-goal lead.
Yeah. Oh! But as you say it, 2 turns into 3, and I guess 3 turns into 4, right? Villanova, they are finding themselves up 4-1 here in Game 2, a game that started off so strong for Georgetown, a goal off the immediate kickoff, and now they're finding themselves trapped against the wall once again.
Yeah, and listen, we talked about it before, but this is kind of that floodgate phenomenon.
Yeah, absolutely.
You start to get some chinks in the armor, and it all comes falling down. And that's what it feels like for Georgetown at the moment. Villanova just dominating in the last minute, getting that 4th goal on the board.
Yeah, Villanova, they held their punches a little bit, but they threw them back out all at once. They are really starting to pound those nails into the coffin here against Georgetown. 4-1, 80 seconds left on the clock. Here is going to be kind of, I don't know, that shining moment for Georgetown to walk away with Game 2 would have been huge, but now they're going to find themselves down 2-0 at the beginning of Game 3.
Yeah, that's definitely what it's looking like. I mean, there's 60 seconds on the clock, right? 3 goals, 60 seconds. Is it technically doable? Sure. I mean, but 20 seconds of goal against the Villanova squad that's playing like this, that seems unlikely. And as the time ticks away, it becomes more and more unlikely with that clear, especially.
Yeah, this is going to be the pressure coming out once again. 40 seconds on the clock. That's what are we looking at? 1 goal per 12 seconds here for Georgetown. Definitely difficult.
Oh,
Never impossible, but with the way Georgetown's been able to perform today, I really think that's kind of going to be out of the cards. Villanova looking to put that 5th point online, and Captain Levi is going to be able to stop that one fast enough, but it looks like I'm a Horse might be able to walk it right back to the stable and almost put it away, but it's going to escape once again. Here comes Riley with that secondary attempt. Secondary going to have to turn into tertiary as Villanova, they want to put that 5th point online.
Man, again, Captain Levi having such a solid series.
Very much so.
That was another fantastic defend by him. Just truly gorgeous. But 1 second left as the ball left to hit the pitch. Not yet, but it's inevitable. Villanova going to take Game 2.
Yeah, Villanova walking away with Game 2. And, at least they spiked the ball right into the ground, right? A little bit of decency there, as a lot of the teams love to be that obnoxious kind of, we're going to keep the ball in the air as long as we can. But Villanova, they're trying to put a bow on it. Oh, I forgot I'm not on cam. Villanova, they're trying to put a bow on it. They're trying to come through hyper-aggressive, really walk away in a 3-0 victory, because we're in the early stages of the EGF where I'm often saying, it's not a huge deal, XYZ. If you're losing, if you're winning. But a lot of these teams here, they're looking to send that message, right? Like, hey, look, we went 2-0 in the first 2 weeks. And Villanova, they're right now trying to bring themselves back up to the 1-1. They want to be able to put themselves back in that even, maybe even go above even in the following week.
Yeah, and I mean, also on the Georgetown side of things, they didn't even get an opportunity to show what they were worth in the prior week, and so this has got to be a little rough. I'll just be honest with you. It's got to be a little mentally taxing the way that this has gone through. I was very impressed. I talked about Captain Levi really, really showing out, but the reality is that there was just not enough offense going down for Georgetown. Not in that game, not in the last one either. And so as we head towards game number 3, there's going to have to be a massive change in this Georgetown side to pick up a game. Much less, more than just a couple of scores. Especially Villanova are going to be scoring on this sort of level.
Sure, and Georgetown, this is the closest they've arguably been to kind of resetting the roster, right? We saw them take a goal early in the second game. We're going to have to see if they're able to do that same thing here in the third. The pressure's on. This is going to be, I hate to say it, but I think we're looking at an now or never moment for Villanova. And as I say it, Focus almost puts that goal away.
Yeah, well, this is looking good.
Past 3 defenders.
Oh, no.
Talk about threading the needle. Past all 3 of them, the triple commit from Georgetown, and Riley still puts it away with ease.
Yeah, the second player, as you were talking about earlier, to take up some weaving. Nicely done.
Yes.
Linen craft and the such. Like to see that. Villanova, though, oh my goodness. That does seem like one of those moments where if that's not defended, you just got to mentally think, how's that feel in the Georgetown comms, and it cannot be good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It cannot be, unfortunately, cannot be a very positive feeling coming off the back of that. Really not the momentum boost that Georgetown's looking for. They really need to improve on a couple of things that we've touched down on with the other teams we've seen today as well, is just those general statements of not triple committing on goal, keeping somebody in that back third to keep your team alive if things kind of go awry in the front half. Captain Levi with a very clean attempt on goal, but Riley just right place, right time.
Yeah, but it was on target, so that's definitely a positive. As, well, Riley going to continue to make defensive plays, and now turn that on towards the offense. A good center ball.
Yeah, a good center ball indeed. We're going to see Serene going in, sending it back toward that midfield. Great turnaround immediately from Villanova. I'm a horse in the sky, but no, unfortunately going to fall. Here's the follow-up. It's that double tap strategy. We've seen it from so many teams today. One goes in. If they miss, somebody is immediately there to clean up the crumbs, and Villanova, they have done that twice now.
That they have, and they've made it look really easy. Off the back of, nice little 1-2, off the backboard as you do. And like you said, it's always that second player, so very deadly. With that 3 minutes, 30 seconds passing. It's not quite halftime yet, but it feels like this is already maybe somewhat decided despite the time left on the clock. But you got to keep your head in it if you're Georgetown.
Yeah, and I've got to say something positive, just kind of to talk about Georgetown a little bit, is I don't feel like I'm watching a team that's mentally boomed.
No.
And as we talked about earlier, that's arguably more important than winning or losing a game, is being able to move into the next one with that GG next mentality. So hats off to them, because that is something that I'm not sure I would be capable of doing. So honestly, very, very impressive that this team is able to keep giving it their 100% no matter what the scoreline says.
Yeah, it's actually been good. Something that I think they struggled with in game 1 and 2 is whenever they went down, they started to get a little bit sloppier. This has not been the case here in this one. It's been very, very good on the defense overall, but, just a couple of those mistakes really allowing the entry of these goals.
Yeah, 100%. That entry is, of course, all it takes, right? It only takes that one-goal victory, but Villanova, whether it's 1 or whether it's 3, they are looking to walk away with it here. Just this constant hyper-aggression working out super well for Villanova, and Georgetown really struggling on the defense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even want to say struggling. They actually did a pretty good job on the defense right there, but, I mean, there was just 3 players. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just so tough. They were starved to boost. They were starved to everything. They tried to defend, but it just, they were lacking the resources and the manpower.
Yeah, the manpower, I definitely think, is where Georgetown can work to improve the roster play a little bit more consistently as a team. I feel like we're seeing, like right there, that's a perfect example of both of them committing to ball, which kind of shows us very little communication, right? And in terms of who's going for what. They both went for the engagement, they bumped into one another, and they lost ball control off the back of it. But had there been just a little bit of communication there, Georgetown maybe could have turned that a little bit more in their favor.
I've talked about the target priority and the ball placement before. This is just beautiful ball placement. Bottom left corner, nobody's going to be able to get there. And it is the number 4 on the scoreboard for Villanova. They continue to dominate, and there's still 2 minutes left.
Yeah, 2 minutes left. Villanova up by 4 right now. They are looking to walk away in a 3-0 victory here on the series. A very impressive showing, honestly. I feel like every game we've seen today, one of the teams has just been all about sending that message, all about the kind of look at me. They're really trying to show the other teams we are not here to mess around.
Yeah, we're right there. We're ready to play. We are the team to beat here in our conference. And, well, Legal Eagle was attempting to do it all on his lonesome, but it's not going to work out.
Yeah, this is definitely a game where a lot of the time you'll see kind of a front runner, a striker, if you will, like I talked about earlier. But all things considered, I feel like all the teams we've seen today have been very team-based, very well-rounded, and those are the teams that seem to succeed the most.
Well, this has been a success for Villanova.
Very much so.
Game 3 pretty much going down to the end here. 1 minute now passing by. It'd have to be another ridiculous comeback for Georgetown. And again, it just feels like that is a bit out of reach.
Yeah, I have to agree. A bit out of reach indeed. We're looking at 1 goal per 11 seconds, so they really need to be dunking these here just time and time again. However, I've got to say, again, a very valiant effort, a great improvement through every game, and it's just kind of those small mistakes, those triple commits, those overextends that really seem to be biting Georgetown in the butt.
And it's actually not even been triple, but it's just the double commits, really.
Yeah.
I mean, especially and those are smaller mistakes, but big in the long run of Rocket League, not the same.
Of course. Yeah, no doubt about that. There's definitely going to be mistakes that can cost you a game. We talked about that earlier. Rocket League, a game where even the smallest mistake, the slightest error can be enough to push you into a losing scenario, and it looks like we're going to be seeing that happen right here at Georgetown. Unfortunately, going to get 3-0'd here by Villanova, but, you know, looking at it from the other side, Villanova walking away with a 3-0 victory after a rough first week.
Yeah, and the reality is that, you know, Villanova playing against Marquette in that week 1, they were the team that looked like they were struggling.
Yeah.
Here they get to put on the brave face and take the victory in dominant fashion this time out. So unfortunately, that does leave Georgetown down 0-2 on the season now. But like you are a fan of saying, it's a long season. This is very early. It's not as if things are over immediately. You can bounce back. You can come back. I remember late into last season, there was so many teams that their fall semester looked horrendous, and then they came back and they were like mid-table, even potentially playoff level teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we're talking about Rocket League right now, but I do want to talk about the best example of kind of what you're talking about that I can think of is St. John's in the Overwatch division. That team, the first half, I think they went 2-7. And then the second half, they went 8-1. So there is an insane amount of growth that these teams can give us over the season. I truly suspect that a lot of the teams that are doing well now may fall to the wayside for those underdogs that we aren't ready for quite yet. We're going to throw it to a super short break. We're going to pull an interviewee in here from Villanova, and we'll be right back here in just a couple of minutes. We'll see you folks in a sec. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Not only do we have a ghost in the studio in terms of me being an disembodied voice, but also Vincent is here, and we have I'm a Horse in here. So there's a ghost, there's a horse, there's Vincent. I don't know, there's a whole bunch of weird stuff going on in here. Anywho, I'm a Horse. How do you feel after walking away from a 3-0 victory?
Felt pretty good. I think that we played pretty solid as a team together. We molded pretty well. Shout out to Georgetown, and I'm excited for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually so glad you said that. That's going to kind of walk me into my next question: is how do you feel about your odds for Villanova going into the rest of the season? So if I'm not mistaken, you guys made it a little pretty far last year. But how far do you think you can
Right.
really this year?
A big part of it's going to actually have to do with connectivity. I don't know if you could see, we've been having connectivity issues, especially in that last game. Our internet isn't the most stable, so that's
Gotcha.
certainly going to be pivotal in taking the the closer games.
Yeah.
But I do think that I think things are looking good. I think we've been playing well together in the off season, and I'm hoping for the best looking forward.
I have a question, and it's about your practice and or prep for a game. So an hour out. What do you guys do to get prepared for a game like today?
So today we all hopped on, as you said, about an hour beforehand, just warming up mechanics, trying to get the fundamentals down, and then as soon right after that, I guess we would jump into ranked, just try to get the comms going, just trying to get loose and get warmed up for the game.
Gotcha. And then so that was talking about like game day. Let's talk a little bit broader, right? What does the practice regime look like for you guys over at Villanova, just generally speaking, on looking at maybe a week?
Right. Well, during the week, a lot of the players are really busy, so we don't have a lot of time to play. It's kind of just impromptu. Hey, play when we can. We're definitely looking into making a bit of a more official schedule. But as of right now, it's kind of just play when you can and also play on the weekends.
Okay. Well, and in the idea of, okay, so you're looking to get some more time in. Is there anybody that you've looked across the aisle at here in EGF that you're like, oh man, I'm really excited or really scared to play?
I know Seton Hall's looking great. I don't know if they qualified for CRL or not, but I know Seton Hall's looking great, so that's going to be a super tough game. Marquette was last week. Marquette guys looked great. They played phenomenal against us. I think personally, I'm looking forward to UConn and Xavier the most. I
Okay.
believe we play Xavier next week. I love the community for Big East, and especially those UConn and Xavier guys. I'm excited to friendly duel.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we are now 3 for 3 on people bringing up Seton Hall in the interview. So they are the boogeyman of the EGFC, if you will. So
Yeah.
that is definitely kind of something to look out for. The last question I wanted to ask you, just kind of a simple one, to pull us a little bit out of the game, focus more on those supporting kind of the organization, Villanova University Esports, so on and so forth. Is there
Right.
anybody that you want to kind of give a shout out to, or just anybody you want to give a general thanks?
Yeah, of course. Shout out to Peter Barron, Director of Compliance, and also runs a lot of the overhead esports here at Villanova. Also, shout out to Crispin May. Those two guys have been really helpful in getting our organization off the ground. And in addition to that, shout out VGS, the Villanova Gaming Society, where a bunch of gamers congregate, and we can try to get more, recruit more interest into the game and getting more gamers involved.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's super cool. You always love to hear the kind of gaming community surrounding colleges and universities and whatnot.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm a Horse. Thank you so much for joining us. It was great to get to talk to you, and please tell your teammates, a huge congrats to you guys.
Alrighty, guys. Thanks for having me. Guys,
Thank
have a good
you.
day.
You as well.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
And with that, folks, we are going to throw it to a break that may be a little bit longer. Stream is going to go down for a couple of minutes. Do not panic. There is like 4 games left to be played tonight. We're going to get streamed down. We're going to try to get my webcam fixed, and we will be right back with you guys in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.